Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you, wherever you are in the world. I am Tigress Osborne. I'm the chair of NAAFA, the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance. And welcome to the very first event of the 2022 Fat Liberation Month. Yay! We have so many exciting things planned for this August to celebrate fat liberation as a political movement and fat liberationist as a community that helps sustain each other when facing the systemic oppression that fat people face in this culture. We hope that this month fortifies you, inspires you, and educates you, and also entertains you. To learn more about Fat Liberation Month or about NAAFA and what we do all year round, please visit our website at naafa.org, NAAFA.org. I'm really excited to tell you that we are back for the second year with some magic and energy to start our Fat Liberation Month right. And today we are going to be led through that by our friend Bree, who will introduce themselves in just a second. I want to thank our friends at Pro Bono ASL. Today, Lavender and Lex are with us interpreting, and Pro Bono ASL has our back all the time for our events to help us make them more accessible to everyone in fat community. You can support Pro Bono ASL by visiting their website, probonoasl.com. And of course, in order to compensate our guest presenters and our interpreters, we rely on the generous contributions of people just like you. To support NAAFA's programming, you can also go to naafa.org and you'll find an area for contributing under the /give area of our website. I should also say that today I am joining you in this virtual space from the Phoenix area, which is the land of the autumn, and we encourage you to learn about whose land you're on and to be engaged with the folks, the communities who are the indigenous landholders. With no further ado, I am going to turn things over to Bree.
Yay! Thanks, Tigress. Happy Fat Liberation Month, everybody. I'm so excited to celebrate with y'all the second year in a row. So thanks for choosing to spend your time with us today. My name is Bree. My pronouns are they, them. I'm calling in from unceded Gabrielino Tongva land in Los Angeles. A little bit about me and what I do. I am an unapologetically fat, queer, and neurodivergent witch with a master's degree in psychology and an eclectic background in helping people. So that all kind of culminates to become my business, in which I provide sliding scale services that include peer counseling, personal consultation, and Uno card tarot readings. Yes, tarot readings with Uno cards. It's real, it's legit, and it's fun. And we'll be doing a little bit of that later on in our time together. So if you want to learn anything more about me or book a sliding scale session with me, I will drop my my website in the chat for those of us that are here live. And that website is breeishelpfulaf.com. I am also a very proud and enthusiastic NAAFA volunteer. I host the monthly Fat Friday virtual social club, which happens every fourth Friday of the month. It's free, it's themed. We chat and play games, and sometimes we dress up if we feel like it. The next event is on August 26th. I will drop the RSVP link in the chat for those of us that are here right now. But if you are watching in the future, you can always go to my website and find the link for the next fourth Friday event under my free events tab. So today we are going to do some collaborative community magic in order to set some intentions for Fat Liberation Month and beyond. And we're going to do something different than last year. So last year we did cauldron magic. This year we're going to do candle magic. And I feel really strongly about sharing about this kind of magic, because I think that there's a misconception that magic and witchcraft has to be very rigid and specific and expensive. And for a budget witch like me, that doesn't always work. I really feel strongly about everything being accessible, including magic and witchcraft. So today, everything that I'm going to be working with, and y'all will be collaborating by choosing ingredients to go into our candle magic. Everything that I either got from the dollar store, the grocery store, which really was just in my kitchen that I bought for eating, and I pulled it out for this magic. Or I've collected things along the way, like if my partner bought me flowers, I saved the flower petals and things like that. So you can gather magic all through your life in different ways. And it doesn't even always have to be like herbs and oils. If something resonates with you and you put intention into it, that's all that really makes magic. For me, the foundation of magic is intention, and anything else from there is just like your own special take on it. And everything more that we include just kind of raises the energy even more. So with that, we're going to actually be working with a tea light candle today. And you might think, that's tiny. How are we all going to put magic into it? Another part about accessibility is, I think some people think that magic, you have to like jam pack it with a bunch of stuff. And it's just not true. Like I said, magic, the foundation of magic is intention. You can use a tiny little pinprick of a sunflower petal, and that will have as much magic in it as if you use the entire sunflower. It's not necessary to use all of everything. In fact, that's clearly like a very capitalist idea that we need more, and we have to use it all. I love that I've been able to save all this stuff and I get to use it over years instead of burning through it in like a month, So a little bit goes a long way. Okay, so we've got our single candle. I'm going to drop in the chat a list of everything that I have for us to work with today. I will also read them aloud if that helps. I know I sometimes process better hearing and seeing. So here's everything we're working with. I'll read all of these ingredients. And everybody who wants a chance to imbue some magic into this candle, you can pick. Honestly, you can pick as much as you want. If you want to pick one thing or three things, that's cool, because I'm just going to use teeny tiny amounts. And you're going to state like what you're choosing, and then you're going to state your intention for each item. And again, we are creating this candle with intention for Fat Liberation Month and beyond. So also, when you come on to name your ingredient, please, if you would, state your name and your pronouns as well. So we got bay leaves, cinnamon, clementine rind. Oh, and I meant to say, don't overthink this. Like if something calls to you or resonates with you and you're not even sure why yet, just take note of that, and you can always assign the intention later, so that you don't have to think too hard. Really just like trust your gut or your intuition with this. There's no like what things are supposed to be. Like, you're the person assigning the intention to it. Clover flowers, which are yellow, cloves, eggshells. We've got 2 different flower petals that are burgundy and pink, ginger, hibiscus flower, lavender, leaves. They're just kind of like miscellaneous leaves. Lime rind, nutmeg, orchid petals. You can choose either white or purple. Pumpkin seeds, roses. We have 3 different rose petals to choose from. Orange. The orange is really cool. It's like kind of orangey and red. Pink and red. Rosemary, salt, spearmint, and sunflowers. So I'll let y'all think for a moment. You could raise your virtual hand when you are ready to choose an ingredient. And as you can see, like a lot of these things really are like, I know everybody in here has at least one of these things in their kitchen, which just goes to show that like magic is all around us and we can really use whatever we have in our environment to create magic. I'm going to pick something and then I will start choosing others. I'm going to use cloves. For me personally, cloves resonate in a way around like authenticity. Just having a history of being kind of a teenage goth kid, cloves resonate in that way as being my authentic self. And I'm going to take it a step further. And for the purposes of this candle, I'm going to say that cloves for Fat Liberation Month and Fat Liberation Beyond is to really feel all of everyone here and all fat folks to be like unapologetically fat and authentic. Shout out to Tigress for really nailing the word unapologetic into my head like a year or so ago. I've been very empowered by that word. And so here's to all fat folks being unapologetically fat. I'm just going to sprinkle. So if you're not familiar with cloves, this is a full clove, and then there was a little bulb on the tip that I pulled off and sprinkled it on. All right, Peggy, what would you like to choose?
Okay, I have two things that I would like to add to the candle. The first is cinnamon.
And what's your intention for the cinnamon?
Well, it's sort of a combination with the next one, so I'll explain.
All right, got cinnamon.
And ginger.
Yum. Wow, this candle already smells dope. This is a very good smelling candle.
I'll bet. Clove, cinnamon, and ginger? Yeah, definitely. So cinnamon and ginger have been a lifesaver for me. 20 odd years ago, when I had acid reflux, Darlene and I discovered through Chinese medicine that cinnamon and ginger could help that. And I drink a tea with every meal that allows me to eat anything I want, basically, and never have had acid reflux again unless I didn't drink my tea. It didn't cure it, but it makes life more tolerable. So my intention for this in Fat Liberation Month is that the cinnamon and ginger will ease our difficulties as we move forward toward achieving fat liberation.
I love that. I'm also definitely going to have to try that tea.
Oh, it's great. It's Good Earth tea. You can buy it in any grocery store.
Oh, awesome. Look at that. Making magic and sharing resources. I love it. Okay. And then we've got Dr. EK.
Hey, I will hit on some of that cinnamon for Mama Oshun. Sweet and spicy lives for us all as we are becoming more and more unapologetically fat and being so in peace with that. And also some pumpkin seed also for Mama Oshun, and that the potentiality of all we wish for, something good happening for everyone who lends their energy to this and to Fat Liberation Month, that in October and November, that it will blossom forth in a fat, beautiful gourd for singing and eating pumpkin pies, and something wonderful and enriching and delicious and happy comes into all our lives in that season. Ashe.
Thank you. I love that. Amanda.
I would like to add lime rind, because sometimes things are sour, but we persist.
So, talking about things that I collected, my partner eats limes all the time, and I save the rind through Magick. So, just like that. My ginger and cinnamon were from the grocery store. My pumpkin seeds are from a jack-o'-lantern I carved 2 years ago, and I have plenty of seeds to use. A little extra magic on those pumpkin seeds, actually. Salt is generally recognized as a protection element. So the pumpkin seeds are salted. So we've got protection in here already. I include protection in everything I do spiritually. I think that it's really important for a variety of reasons. And that's a really easy way to imbue protection into the magic we're doing. Plus, we all, I'm sure, have a salt shaker that I literally used with my breakfast this morning. Good to eat is good for magic. Alrighty, Vanessa.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, that's what I'm choosing salt to remove the negativity and the toxic, and, for cleansing and protection.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm trying to write these down so that I can remember, but I don't think I'm getting it all down. It's okay. The candle's hearing it all. Sandra and Brandy.
I would like to add there some of the orange and the pink rose petals. And I want to do that to essentially create the apricot color, if you can imagine those combining together. And the reason I'm thinking of that is because of the apricot hanky code, which is all about fat love and fat desire and sensuality. And it's something that was talked a lot about in like fat girl zine community.
Awesome. Let's find a really bright one. Look how cool these rose petals are. So like on one side they're orange and then the other side they're red.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. I got the pink in here as well. These roses I bought for myself. So shout out to those of us who don't wait for other people to buy us flowers. Darlene.
There are actually three that I want to add. For some reason, as soon as it started, I thought of a trip that I had taken one time, and the elements that really resonated with me was a hibiscus. And where we were, hibiscus was everywhere and in every color that you could think of. And to me, that my intention has to do with visibility. During Fat Liberation Month, we want to show more visibility of fat people and the different colors that we offer and the different parts of ourselves. The second thing had to do with orchids. And with an orchid, it's always attached to another kind of a host so that it's working together that we see the beauty. So that's my intention with that. And then the third one was also salt, because there was a lot of salt water, and we are made up a lot of salt as part of us. And as you said, protection. So that's my thinking on that one.
Awesome. Did you want white or purple orchid?
Purple.
You got it. I've been working with these orchids since 2020. Oh, my best friend actually sent them to me when my cat passed away.
Oh,
I feel like they have like extra special spiritual vibes, I guess.
yeah.
All right. Anybody else want to add something to the candle? It's jam-packed, but it's not. There's always room for more. And if we're done, then I will show you what it looks like, and we'll move on to our readings. Sandra, is your hand up again, or is it just still up?
It's just still up.
No worries. No worries. All right, last call for community candle magic. I'm actually I'm leaving all of these ingredients out. I'm gonna show you something. This is a bonus. I just discovered these at the dollar store, these like teeny tiny little containers. And I love making magic in them. Again, like I think a lot of people think like a spell jar or like bottle or potion or whatever has to be a huge thing. But not all of us have the space for that. And I thought that these tiny jars were the perfect little way to have just some low-key magic with you. I filled one with rosemary and salt for protection in my car, and it fits like right into my dashboard. There's like a little enclave. I've done community magic with my roller derby league, where we all set intentions for our league and put them in these bottles for us each to have. So this is another idea for if you want to have some magic that's not super obvious, maybe at your desk at work or even in your house, really wherever. I've even gifted these to people who are not necessarily spiritual, but it's just so cute and small that like, at the very least, I think it's a cute, nice gesture, you know? So you just grind up whatever you want to put in it and you scoop it in and put the top on, and it's super secure. So I was actually thinking about taking everything that we have collaborated on just now and making some of these Fat Liberation Month mini magics. So if that is of interest to you, reach out to me through my website or whatever. And maybe you could get some of this magic at your house. Okay, so I'll show you what our candle looks like before I light it. Let's see. Boop. There it is. Everything that we collaborated on is in this teeny tiny tea light candle. And I'll light it here with us now, but I'll eventually put it on. I have a shelf where it's just for magic for other people. I keep it separate from my own altar. I'll put it over there later on. And speaking of intentions, everything can have an intention. So even my lighter, I usually pick a specific color lighter and I give an intention to it. And so I chose a red lighter, which in the Uno Tarot represents the suit of wands, which is connected to the element of fire. So even though we're working with all the elements in the candle, I wanted to underline the element of fire because it is one of fire. Just like fire gets shit done. I don't know how else to say it. Fire just gets shit done, whether we like it or not. It is really, really powerful, and we can utilize the energy of fire with good intentions to use it in a positive way. And so that's why I chose the red lighter, because I want to ignite this with like as much fire energy as possible to like heighten all of our intentions and all the energy that we just collaborated on and put into this candle. I want it to be as big and bright as possible. So lighting it away from my air conditioner. And hopefully it stays lit. Here we go. We did magic, everyone. Can you believe? I love it. Even though I can't see your faces, I know you're all real happy. And I'm really, my favorite way to do magic is with other people. Like I said before, the more we put into it, I feel like the higher it raises the energy. And so when we work on magic together, we are like doubling, tripling, quadrupling, whatever 11ing is. That's how much more energy we are putting into our intention for fat liberation. So thank you everyone for contributing. And, before we get into the Uno Tarot, I wanted to explain it real quick. Some people think it's a joke. I did discover it as a joke, but as I've continued utilizing them to read, they are very legit as a tool of divination. Again, magic, the foundation is intention, right? So you could make your own tarot cards with whatever numbers and symbols you want, and you assign the intention or the message or whatever the meaning of those cards, and that would work too. So that's why this works. I also love it because it kind of connects back to the origination of tarot cards. So tarot cards were not originally created to be used as a tool of divination. They were originally created as playing cards. It was not until later that people assigned intention to them and utilized them as divination, as a tool for divination. So I like that it kind of like connects back to the origin. So it is a little bit different than a regular tarot reading. That is because we are in regular tarot, you have the minor arcana, which are the numbers, the cards with numbers and suits. So the 8 of Cups, the 10 of Wands, so on and so forth. The court cards also, the king and queen and all that. Those are the minor arcana. So we in Uno, since we have cards with numbers and colors, we are only using the minor arcana that has a number and a suit. We do not have court cards present here. And what I like about this is some people like to think that the minor arcana is where you kind of get like direct feedback for like the nitty gritty details of life. Whereas the major arcana tend to be like huge overarching themes and major like transformative moments, which have their place. But I find that when I turn to tarot and when others come to me for tarot, we're actually most of the time looking for guidance for how to navigate big life things on a day-to-day basis. So I love that that is the major focus here, is like getting to what we need to do day to day to reach our long-term goals. So the numbers are just the numbers. Though Uno goes from 0 to 9, so the 0 is 10. And the colors actually are the real correlations to the suits. So I didn't actually make it up. Like if you go into a tarot guidebook, it'll tell you that blue is for cups, yellow is for swords, red is for wands, and green is for pentacles. So those all will have the same meanings. Since we don't have symbolism or imagery on these cards, we are only reading the numerology plus the meaning of the suit. So sometimes these cards will have images on them in a traditional tarot deck, and there might be extra meanings or whatever associated with them. But here we're just reading the numbers and the suits. The thing that's unique about Uno Tarot that is not going to be in any other deck is what I call the Uno Arcana. So that is all the other cards. We've got the reverse, you've got the wild card, you've got the +2, and you've got stop. I didn't used to use them, and then I said, that's no fun. It would be really cool if we used the rest of those cards. And so I simply assigned my own meaning to these cards, just what came to me intuitively. And some of it's really straightforward. The stop card means stop or pause. The reverse card means you need to go back to something or reevaluate something. The wild card is a little more intricate. But that is how Uno Tarot works. And if you ever want to go back to this, I have a more in-depth video about it actually on my own YouTube, which is Bree's Helpful AF. So you can find a how-to video there. Or if you'd rather read than watch, I transcribed it into my blog as well. Or you could just always hit me up and get a tarot reading from me to see how it goes. So those of you watching in the future, we will say goodbye for now. But everyone who's sticking around, hold tight while we stop the recording and we'll get to our readings.